My daddy planted big gardens.
Yeah.
And what was so funny, I told Sheila, my mom and daddy grew watermelons, cantaloupes. So all the watermelons was piled up at the end of the driveway. 25 cents a piece. Watermelons. 25 cents a piece.
How big? Big ones?
Oh, big watermelons. No matter what size they were all a quarter.
25 cents.
25.
Wow. I'd buy 12 of them.
25. And everybody that would pass through the country when we moved to the country, we had them at the end of the driveway. And then we had all kind of a garden every year. And everything that was planted in the garden, Mama cooked it and canned it.
Yeah.
Jarred it. When I came up here, I was jarring beet pickles. I was telling them yesterday I had 98 jars of beet pickles.
I remember.
That I pickled.
I used to help you when I was real little.
I know you did.
Used to pick beets out of the garden.
I know. And string beans.
Tomatoes.
String beans, Louie would help me do this.
Yep.
And we'd string them and we'd cook them and I'd freeze them.
Yeah.
I'd can them. I would can them. And I had that thing downstairs full of cans every year. And I thought that's what I was supposed to do. But then later on we got the big freezer moved up here.
Yeah.
And then I filled it full of frozen things. But I still can things. But that's what...
Yeah, I remember I used to help with the beets. I used to boil them and then...
And then when we wanted to go somewhere to Gaffney to visit Mama's folks, Daddy couldn't drive. So we had a Hupmobile. So my Hubert was the last one that hadn't married. So the boys always ended up driving us to Gaffney.
Yeah.
And Daddy would say, 25 miles an hour. 25 miles an hour. And then Daddy's changed it. 30. You can go 30.
Oh, okay.
You can go 30 miles an hour now to Gaffney.
Oh.
So we went to Gaffney 30 miles an hour and meet all my Aunt Alice and everybody.
A whole 5 mile an hour bonus.
Yeah. And Alice used to come to visit us from Gaffney. And she'd be there for Christmas. And we'd get the biggest pair of bloomers in the store. We kept them with a leg on them, with elastic around the legs. And we had two fireplaces. And we put the bloomers on each end of the fireplace, and that was for her.
Of course.
For Santa Claus to put stuff in.
Yeah,
yeah. So what we wanted to give her to take home, we stuffed them in the bloomers.
Okay.
We tied the bottom.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't fall out. So that was another thing that was fun. Every Christmas. and we used to go to Gaffney to visit her.
So the bloomers took the place of the stockings.
Oh, we would hang out little children's stockings.
Oh, okay.
The little stockings for the little people.
Okay.
Over the fireplace, because the fireplace was high and the fire was burning coal.
Okay.
It was just a small fireplace. And then we went to church. We'd have breakfast. 7 children.
Yeah.
And they would be in front of us, and we had to walk about a mile to church, up Dorsey Avenue and down toward the Methodist Church, all around that way, and we'd come to the Baptist Church. So a lot of the children would go walking with Mom and Dad, and I would be walking in the back of them because I had to walk in the footsteps.
Okay.
And when I got older and we lived on the farm out in the country, I was still picking beans walking behind Mama.
Really?
That was after I got married. And
wow.
I was still walking in her heels. And then they got after me one day. Mommy picked those beans already. You have to come over here beside her and pick the beans. So that was something that I changed my way of living. And that I couldn't walk behind Mom anymore. And you know what? I still do the same thing here
Yeah.
that I did in those days. I carry a tissue.
Yeah.
Always. Tissue. If I have to do this, I do this. If I have to do this, I pick it up with this. So
Is that what your mama used to do?
I followed Mama and did everything they did.
Yeah.
And then my daddy built a log cabin, and I helped him.
Really?
And we had a stove, and we had the sleep room, and we had the kitchen, and the big, huge heater to keep keep it warm. Cute. Oh, I had pictures, and I don't know what Johnny did with them.
Yeah.
With that one, I had that one, and then one of my